best messages that I've heard, and I can't remember who specifically said it, but your marketing is part of the product. And by that, the way that you engage with your market around your product is part of the product. Your product is what you produce, and what you're producing includes your messaging.
Yeah.
That's how people interpret what they're going through and what they're seeing in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think that's a great campaign to highlight that in effect. What's crazy is that it's over 100 years ago. That
Beer's still beer.
Right. But you don't hear that being talked about as much. I mean, you don't hear that being talked about almost at all, especially in the tech space, in the AI space.
Mm-hmm.
Is because, I mean, we hear a lot of people talking about the same thing, and that's something that I noticed too, is that a lot of the ways that he resonates and breaks through is finding what everybody's doing and then doing something that'll stand out.
Right.
So if everybody's talking about beer being pure, which was what people were talking about at the time, he said, okay, everybody's getting drowned out in the noise. Let's talk about, and well, actually what he did, and this is very much like Sam Walton, is he went and toured the actual saw the actual behind the scenes of how they were making the beer.
Got as close as possible to the process.
And he said, oh wow, why aren't you guys telling anybody about this? And they were like, well, every beer factory is like this. But
they're not saying it. You know?
But they're not saying it.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, if we say it and we get out ahead, we're gonna clean up. And that's a big takeaway. I mean, this is normally super secret.
Level of game, yeah.
But we're gonna give a little bit more right now. I was listening to somebody, and he said, if 10 people are dominating your market and they're established and they even have the same tools as you, but they're talking about it in a way that doesn't address your market's problem, then you have a huge opportunity to go in there and clean up.
Yeah.
Because it's technically a different product when you talk about it differently.
Yeah.
And that's something that is like, it can go from being something that's static to dynamic. It can go from being something that's dead to alive, just by the way that you're communicating it in the context that you put around the product. But that's not taught.
Right.
That's not taught in the holistic picture of business. And again, that's a gem. I would go back and play that back multiple times.
I think
it's critical.
I think they do try and teach it, but without the context of something like this, I feel like it goes over everyone's head. Because it's like, oh yeah, like obviously your messaging is part of the product. You have to be differentiated to the point where people buy. Like people are told that, but without the context of like how to actually do it, it's lost.
But that's what I'm saying is, like,
you know?
People will say it needs to be different. I think the assumption is I need to make something different
instead of talk about it different. Yeah, there's that really, it's not Claude, but there's a scene from a show where the advertiser walks into like a tobacco company, and they're like, okay, like how are we gonna, show off our cigarettes as the best tobacco? He goes, well, our tobacco's toasted. And they go, well, all tobacco's toasted. But ours is toasted. And it's like, if you could get in front of that.
That's Mad Men.
It is Mad Men, right? I was like, I've seen, it's on the tip of my tongue. I know what I'm talking about, because he also has the ketchup line. Yeah. Where it's like, I don't want to see ketchup in the ad. Yeah. But no, he's like, no, ours is toasted. And it's like, it's that same mentality of like, everybody's is toasted, but if we call it first, nobody can take that from us, because like we're calling it as like, that's how we're differentiated.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet that scene of it being toasted
is from scientific advertising.
Was largely inspired by, every beer is pure. Like why
exactly?
But so what he did is he ended up going in there and they ended up describing how the beer was made, but using it to communicate why somebody should buy their beer and not another beer.
Right.
I mean, because one thing that's there's a fine line there is and I just want to make sure that I get like the way that he explained it. But one thing that's a fine line is the process. Talking about the process can be good in the right way. But also it can be distracting from what you're actually trying to sell the person.
That's something that we're going to dive into on Super Secret, where we're going to start comparing Claude with Steve Jobs. Because I think that dives into, like, am I talking about the emotion or logic? Right, the process of the iPhone or the feeling you get when you have an iPhone?
Oh no, we're about to jam.
We're about to jam on some of this stuff.
No,
but I think that's it's a great point, because you can't get too drowned out in the minutia of the specs or the process or these other things that are gonna cause me to burn calories trying to understand what you're saying. I should never have to do that in good advertising.
Oh man, I have something great that I almost want to say now, but we'll wait. Okay, so that was that campaign, and I think that's a huge takeaway, is learning messaging and how you talk about your product can make a complete difference.
Yep. Want to go to the next one? Or
let's go into how we taught everybody to brush their teeth.
It's a genius campaign. Most people at this time, I mean, I'm gonna date Claude's timeline just with another tidbit here. They didn't even have hot showers. Like, this is how old school we're talking. So they definitely weren't brushing their teeth every day. Like, you can't even have a hot shower. But yeah, and so like the whole campaign around and I feel like people use this today in passing without even knowing it. It's literally, but it's happened to me multiple times. I didn't realize it was a Claude Hopkins thing, but he had this whole campaign around the film on your teeth. You know, he goes, run your tongue over your teeth right now. Feel that film.
I want to do it right now.
It's one of those things that's like
it's pretty early, so
right. It's one of those like visceral moments where you can have an instant feedback of, oh, I can do that with my tongue. I can feel that film that he called. Okay, we'll buy our toothpaste and get rid of that.
That's a really powerful thing too. I kind of want to jump into that with Super Secret, but talking about it like just a little bit of a foreshadow. Is anchoring your product to a specific action. I think is a really powerful way of communicating. Because anytime you do that, you're like, and then you start filling in like, oh, I don't like that.
But it's also one of those things that's like, you probably do that 100 times a day.